And now we're going to get some answers about the assassination of President Kennedy, because there could be some breakthroughs. Did I say breakthroughs? Breakthroughs on that. Dr. G, we're going to talk about that. You're back. I know, it's the voice sometimes. It just goes. It just goes.
It's the China virus that I think just hangs on forever. Thank you so much, David Brody. All right, the remaining 80,000 classified packages regarding the JFK assassination were released last night from the National Archives. It's another Trump campaign promise made and kept. So what do they contain? And is there literally a smoking gun that has been uncovered? Joining us now is Seamus Bruner, an associate director of the research at the Government Accountability Institute. Welcome to the show. Did these newly released files unearth anything earth-shattering about the president's murder?
Good morning, Dr. G. Good morning, David. Nothing earth-shattering, no. It is a huge win for transparency, though. Promises made, promises kept. I was going through them all last night. Really, really fascinating stuff. What strikes me, though, is there are still a few redactions and pages missing. But those redactions and those missing pages, they go back to previous administrations. So, what's really unsettling is if there was anything juicy, it would have been removed potentially years or decades ago. And if there wasn't anything earth-shattering in these files, then why did it take so long to declassify them? So that's the question we're wrestling with. If there's nothing earth-shattering, why were they classified so long?
No, it's a great point. And we should point out that, we heard this 80,000 document number. Some was released last night after 6 p.m. We just found out in the last hour or so, actually in the last 30 minutes, that they've just released another batch. So this is going to be coming out in waves. And I think we should do the disclaimer here, Seamus, that we really should reserve judgment, hold judgment, and figure this out once we start to really get a better picture of these documents, because you can cherry pick a document, and some of this stuff, by the way, has already been released and it's just been less redacted, which might not mean anything, or it could mean something. So I think that's important as well. To me, as I looked over some of the documents, not all of them, obviously, but some of the documents, I got the sense clearly that what's really going on here is that the CIA was clearly heavily involved in this somehow, some way, and that JFK's frustration and just anger at the CIA was pretty apparent, and I think these documents are showing a lot of that.
Yeah, you're right, David. Another thing is you'll find a lot of intelligence reports, and it's important to note. I see people going off about, oh, this shows this or this shows that. Intelligence reports are by no means true. Some people take them as gospel, but you should definitely not do that, because oftentimes they're not true. And so just because a document says something doesn't mean that that's exactly what happened. I saw that and there's a lot of things that have been previously known and then later debunked. So it's going to take some time to go through 80,000 pages, cross-reference them with, what history has shown and what we know. But so far, I've not seen anything totally earth-shattering.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about a tweet put out by David Harris Jr. He pointed to one of the documents that said that JFK Jr. called Joe Biden a traitor back in 1994. Of course, Joe Biden was a senator then, so this is decades before he became president and compromised our U.S. national security by assisting family members that sold foreign influence. And of course, JFK Jr. died in a plane crash in 1999. But the fact that he was calling him a traitor back in 1994, did you see this document, and what does this mean to you?
Yeah, that document, that's been out for a while. I remember seeing it years ago, actually, and it's pretty fascinating. I don't know that Joe Biden had JFK Jr. offed. In fact, Hillary Clinton would have benefited the most from that as she became the senator from New York. But no, that is a fascinating document. It is real. It is confirmed. He sent a letter, and so I find it interesting. Joe Biden, prophetic maybe. Joe Biden sold our country out to China, as we've revealed over and over and over again. And that happened long after JFK Jr.'s death with the deals with the Chinese intelligence companies and Hunter Biden. So interesting document. Biden will go down as the most corrupt president in U.S. history. And this is just another piece of data in that story.
Well, you point to some interesting information. We want to have you back sometime soon. Seamus Bruner, Thank you for coming on.
Thanks.